because I love people so much and you do too. I have no idea how you say and I don't care. That's something that super duper fascinates me.
Well, maybe, and honestly, maybe that's the thing, right? Because I think what allows me to deal with every single day, people are like, you're a charlatan, you're full of shit, you're a snake oil salesman, you suck, your daddy gave you a liquor store. They don't know my story, right? So I think the way I deal with, the reason I can deal with it is, the reason I can love so much is because I don't care so much because I know who I am. When people try to troll me and like, easy for you to say daddy gave you a liquor store, they don't know the truth, which is that I gave up 13 of my best years of my life to build my dad's store for him, and I left at 36 years old with no fucking collateral value and no money in the bank. Started over. But what am I gonna do? Spend all my times replying to everybody? Like, what am I gonna do? Go on fucking TV and say that's my story?
Well, what about, you said, like, even your sister, your girlfriend say, like,
I'm married now, let's not talk about girlfriends.
Like, how do you say I don't care about that too? Sorry, so many questions.
I'm kidding.
Anyways.
I don't care because I know where they're coming from. Like, everybody's coming from a perspective. I deploy empathy, and I know why my sister thinks that. I know why my wife thinks that. I know why my mom thinks that.
You don't care if they're disappointed or not happy with your decision because you know.
I only care if I'm doing something wrong. Wrong is different than doing something that somebody else doesn't want you to do. It's very different. I'm worried if I like hurt somebody or try to do something malicious. I'm only trying to do good, so it makes me very at peace with myself. And sometimes that means that I have to be selfish for a moment, but I know what my macro effect is. And if you want to build a fucking tsunami, you better fucking figure out how to get real selfish real fast. Because if you look at Gandhi or MLK or anybody else, they're the most selfish fuckers going. I'm serious. Like, go break that down. Like, if you go look at them, right, you start realizing that they were selfish about having a legacy and figured out the code of if they're giving at all times and everybody knows about it, that's going to build a legacy. I know why I'm standing here today. It's as much, and I'm getting paid unbelievably, but it's not ROI positive to me. I can make more money other ways. It's because it's why I'm going over time, because I know I have a little more time than normal, and I'm keep going because I know the last 20 minutes, there's one answer, two answers that's gonna matter, and it's gonna build legacy. You better get real fucking selfish. Because you're not gonna have a ripple or a fucking little, you're gonna have nothing if you're not, because you're not gonna be strong enough to deal with, everybody likes the come up. Everybody wants to be big. You don't know what happens when that happens. You gotta be strong. You don't know what happens when you get the fucking other side of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was really helpful.
You're welcome.
Wait, that wasn't my question though. This will be fast, I promise guys. I promise so much. Okay, so anyways, I know the why, 100%. I'm still figuring out the how. I don't want to be stuck figuring out the how and not thinking about the next step.
Yep.
And in order to accomplish something that huge of life purpose, I have to have some key components.
Well, the first thing you have to have, is what do you have to give?
So once I figure out the how, then
you can't figure out the how. Like for me, once I figured out that I understood how to build businesses and that entrepreneurship was a gateway to the outcome for so many people because it was independence, I spent 15 years of my life building a business to have the credibility to talk about building a business, right? Which gave people more confidence to look and listen to me, because if you're a 20-year-old life coach on Instagram, you're gonna be faced with cynicism because you're 20 years old. Like, so I think the thing that you have to figure out is what do you have to give? You know, I have confidence to give. Got it? Like, I'm up here on full fucking attack to inject you with confidence and eliminate insecurity, which leads to having very difficult questions about how you judge other people's opinions in your inner circle. That's how I got there. I was like, wait a minute, all of you aren't doing your thing because your mom parented you in a weird way because she was miserable and misery loves company, so she tried to make you feel insecure because she was insecure, and that's why you're not confident, and that's not why you're not doing shit. And that leads to you gotta go confront your mom, and that's like, fuck. But that's what I had to give. That confidence and self-esteem was my drug that allowed me to open up my opportunities, which led to the awareness, because I was never scared to taste shit, and I figured out what I was good at because I never cared what you thought about my shortcomings because they were my shortcomings.
I'm going through a big point of growth in my life. I'm 20 years old, and I know the next 10 years are gonna be like a lot of progression for me.
Respect.
If you could give yourself one tip when you were my age, what would it be?
Don't count anything.
I feel that.
Do you?
I think I do.
Let me tell you what I mean. Literally, don't judge where you're at for the next 10 years. Literally close your eyes until you're 30. Same advice I gave earlier. Like, the biggest problem for people is they're keeping score along the way, which means they're looking back, which is allowing people to pass them. I went into a coma in my 20s. You know, just like checked out. I don't think what I did was right. I checked out so extreme that I like stopped talking to anybody. I just went there, right? I think in hindsight, there was a healthier balance. But I think everybody else is too much the other place. Like at 30, I'm gonna be this, and at 22, this, and if I'm not the manager at 21, then this, and if I'm not making 63,000 at 20, like people are just counting against themselves because they're so used to the game of school and rankings and scoring, and then you get into the real world where it's detrimental, not a positive.